No, voter suppression. That's what she said.
No.
Voter suppression lost her the election. That was one of the reasons. But we've got a new report, and it reveals that thousands of non-citizens did vote in Virginia. The man with the story, John Fund from the National Review. Let me see if I got this right. They found 5,500 non-citizens in just a part of Virginia, and a third of them voted. Is that accurate?
The Public Interest Legal Foundation had to file 3 lawsuits over 3 years to get this information out of just 138 cities in Virginia. It's a small part of Virginia. They found that in the last 5 years, 5,500 people who had registered to vote and were non-citizens had to be removed from the rolls. Now, of course, the government officials kept this quiet, but a third of them had actually voted. Now, this is a small sample. There are a lot of other people who probably are in the same position that haven't been uncovered or discovered yet. This gives impetus to Donald Trump's commission, which would look into whether or not there's voter suppression and also voter fraud and also general incompetence in our election system, because we have the least competent election system of any industrialized democracy.
But for years we've heard rumors, innuendo, speculation that non-citizens were in fact voting, and all frequently voting left. I mean, I think that's an accurate statement. Now we've got positive proof that it did actually happen.
We could have more evidence if for 8 years the Obama administration hadn't refused the requests of secretaries of state in many states saying, look, your Department of Homeland Security has a list of every legal alien in the country. If you have a green card, a student visa, we have your name. Give us the list so we can compare it to our voter registration list, and we'll see how many people have actually been registered to vote and perhaps voting. For 8 years, the Obama administration refused to give states those lists. One of the things that the commission is going to do is get those lists and start comparing.
Well, that could expose massive
Which is why the people on the left have for years, there's no problem here, move along, no issue here, there's no voter fraud. They are scared of what actually looking at the issue would turn up.
Oh, that is extraordinary. Herb London's still with me. You've been listening to this.
Oh, I know John's work very well. And
extraordinary.
John did an amazing book the last time out, pointing to the voter fraud that does exist. I've actually experienced it in New York, very much aware of the fact that the last time I ran, I probably won the race, but was told by some people, look, we managed to generate something in the order of 20,000 votes so that you would lose. So I'm very, very much aware of it.
Look, I was a green card holder for many decades, frankly, decades. I could have voted. I really could have voted. All I had to do was say, yes, I'm a citizen.
That's right.
That's all. There was no proof required. I could have done it.
Herb is more than right. Mayor Bloomberg, just before he left office, sent out 63 investigators to polling places, voting in the names of dead people or people who were in prison or people who were moved out of state. Out of 63 attempts where they were impersonating someone else and asked to vote, they succeeded 62 out of 63 times.
Come on, this is...
a 97% success rate. The only one they failed at was one investigator tried to vote in the name of a 21-year-old black person. He happened to be white, and he was told by the polling worker, well, you can't vote for that person because he's my son.
Good Lord.
That's the only failure they had.
But why are we just discovering this? I find this incredible. That's voter fraud in the extreme, which has changed elections.
Let me give you an example. Governor McAuliffe of Virginia, the former Clinton operative, he was handed a bill on his desk last year that said, let's say someone is called for jury duty, but they say they can't perform jury duty because they're not a citizen. Well, let's take the names of those people who say they're not citizens and compare them to voter registration rules. That was the bill on his desk. He vetoed it. There's only one reason you veto a bill like that. You want people who aren't eligible to vote because they're voting for you.
If you call for voter ID, that's considered...
It's called vote
racist.
suppression. It's not. Everyone needs voter ID for everything in life.
Yes.
To board a plane, to get a benefit, to
you
get
can't walk into this building without a voter ID.
You can't walk into a government building without a voter ID, but you can walk into a polling place in over half the states and not show a photo ID.
Now, let me clear this up. Hillary Clinton said voter suppression.
What cost her the election?
That's what cost her the election. Voter suppression is where people are denied the right to vote. You throw them out. You demand an ID. They don't have the
exactly.
ID. That will be voter suppression.
And even liberal publications have said this is ridiculous and a fantasy. But here's the interesting thing. Donald Trump was properly criticized for saying 3 to 5 million illegal voters. I think that was a wild exaggeration. He shouldn't have said it. He didn't have any evidence. But there was an outrage over that. How much of an outrage has there been about Hillary Clinton's statement last week that she lost only because of voter suppression? Crickets. Crickets.
Where's the outrage now that you have revealed these numbers? 5,500 illegals in that particular part of
Illegal
Virginia.
voters who are legally here as residents.
And a third
yes.
of them voted.
Right.
A third of them voted. And that was just a small part of Virginia.
Exactly. That's why this new commission, which is bipartisan, by the way, it includes 2 Democratic secretaries of state, this new commission is doing very important work. And what is the response of Democrats? They're trying to put pressure on the Democratic members of the commission to resign. We don't want to know.
I mean,
we don't want to know
goodness
anything.
me, that is a blockbuster.
See no
story,
evil,
Mr. Fund.
speak no evil, hear no evil.
Good Lord. Okay, I've got to move on, but